Hi, so today I want to share with you guys a way that you can essentially use AI to read in any kind of PDF that you like. And what I mean by this is, today oftentimes if you're using something like ChatGPT and you want to upload a PDF that contains a lot of image, for example, ChatGPT wouldn't be able to do it for you. And also if you use something like OpenRouter even with Mistral OCR as the file parser engine inside, it still wouldn't be able to do it. So let me show you an example. So let's say if I were to open ChatGPT, and you can see here that I've uploaded an image, which is basically this, right? This one here, which is also a website PDF, which is this. And you can see that there's a lot of images inside this PDF, right? You have this block here, and even these are images as well. And what happens is when I feed this PDF into ChatGPT, it says that, and I told it to kind of like read all the text in this file for me. And basically what it gives me back is this PDF is completely blank except for a single word website, which is not correct, right? So clearly ChatGPT can't do this. And then let's use something like OpenRouter, where you have the file parser engine, which is Mistral OCR, meaning to say that it has OCR functionality in this, that it can read images in PDFs. But the problem with this is when I feed a PDF like this in, it says file size exceeds 10 megabytes. And by the way, this file is 50 megabytes, right? So this workflow that I built here essentially allows you to bypass all of that and still allow you to read whatever PDFs that you wanted to read. So now let me show you how this workflow works exactly. Before I go ahead and talk about the workflow, there's something that I want to show you. So if we look at Mistral OCR website here, we can, and this is, by the way, the API that we're using to process the PDFs into readable text. So as you can see here in this figure, on the left hand side, tables and figures, we actually have the original PDF, and it contains, like these graphics, and then you also have some text. So usually the text is not an issue, but the problem comes when there's a lot of images and stuff that the AI wouldn't be able to kind of process it. But what this API does is that it kind of like converts all those graphics into a machine readable format that can now allow Mistral to kind of like process and extract the text. And there's a lot of OCR APIs out there at the moment. So if you go down all the way, and these are all examples, right? Pretty amazing, to be honest. So if you go all the way down, you can see that there's already a few options today. So there is Azure Document AI. There's Google Document AI. There is also Microsoft, and then Gemini 1.4 Pro, etc. But if you look at this top tier, this benchmark here, we can see that Mistral OCR is the best that we have today. And you can also see that across a few other benchmarks as well, it's also performing the best. So clearly, like we want to be using Mistral OCR if we can. Alright, so if I were to go ahead and upload that same PDF in this workflow, let's see if it will work, right? So execute and then choose file, landing page. So we expect the end result, if this workflow is working, is that it will give us a bunch of text that essentially reflects the content of the PDF, right? So let me just close this. So now we'll just let it run. But as it is running, let me just briefly walk you through on a high level what this workflow actually does. All right, so essentially there are three key components to this workflow. And as you can see here, the first part here is essentially uploading our PDF into Mistral and then converting it into a format that Mistral can easily read. So that's the first part. All right, so if I were to click in this node here, you'll see that there's a lot of image placeholders, which means that Mistral actually failed to read these and interpreted them as image placeholders instead. So you can see here there's image 0, and then if I were to control F, you also see there's image 1, and then there's also image 2, image 3, etc. And so these are all image placeholders that Mistral OCR just assumed that they're images and that we don't really want to read the text within it. But let's say we do want to read those texts within it, right? For example, here, if we say here from real customers, image 2, our effective, easy to use 3-step process, image 3. And so what we're essentially missing out in this case is this, right? We're actually missing out this whole chunk here. And then if you look at here, our effective, easy to use 3-step process, our effective to use easy step 3-step process, and then we have image 3, right? Which means we are going from here and then we're going straight down to trusted by leading dermatologists. Meaning this whole chunk here has been skipped by the AI because it assumed that it is an image and we're not interested in it, which is not the case. Let's say in our case, we do want to read every single text in this file. And so we have the second part of this workflow, where essentially what it does is, because Mistral OCR can read images, it's just that within the previous run, it assumed that that is something that we didn't really want to process. And so what we then do is we'll take these image chunks and then feed that again into the Mistral OCR engine to get them to read the text within these pictures. So this is what the workflow does. This is what this part of the workflow does. And then after that, we will then combine everything together, meaning we have our original markdown from here, and then we will also integrate the text that we have now from those little images, and then combine them into a single markdown. And so what you see here is, just combining the table, what you see here is this column here, markdown, where you have a whole list of text. And these are essentially all the text that makes the entire website PDF. And so if we were to look back to this example, right? So let's say previously we didn't have this picture. So let me just search for AM PM wash, right? AM/PM. You can see that now it has integrated those text within those images into the markdown as well. And then finally, we have an LLM just to clean everything up. For example, here you can see that there's a lot of like noise and characters that are probably just like bugs or something that the Mistral OCR has caught on. Like for example, these female education system all the way down. And so what is LLM node essentially cleaning up all the irrelevant characters and stuff, and then just after that we will just feed into Google Docs. And as you can see here, let's just do a quick comparison, right? So this product landing page is essentially the copy that we got directly from the workflow. And so let's just compare it and see how well did the workflow actually do. So we have say hello to sweat-free days, and that's exactly it. And then we have super effective sweat protection that keeps you protected, etc. And then we even have the reviews here and stuff. And then after that we have explore 3-step solution, which is this button here. So we can see that it kind of like captures everything, right? So and then we have, you know, beat excess sweat, which is this, strongest stuff, and then this dry action. So it didn't kind of like capture these images here, which is fine, but it kind of like captured the comments. And then we have 3 reasons why 1000 straw, zero dry, and then solves over sweating, which is all of these words here. And then we even have smell great and feel dry, these 3 products, which is this. And then we have concentrated formulas, natural clean ingredients, which are these. And then we also have zero dry 3-step process, get the 3-step system now, which is this one here, and how it works, ingredients, shipping times. Yeah, so you can see that it kind of captures everything, right? And even like things like this. For example, this is clearly an image, right? And you can see that it kind of converted those into a table as well. And even for things like this, right? For example, over 500,000 sweat-free customers, and then we have like the reviews all here written down here as well. So you can see that it does pretty well, and it captures, I would say, 95% of all the text on the web. Alright, so now let's talk about how we can actually set up the workflow. So if we zoom into these 3 first nodes, right? So we have upload PDF to Mistral, fetch signed URL, and OCR PDF via Mistral. And we can essentially, if you go to this website, which is Mistral AI's basic OCR doc, you will see that here we have OCR with PDF, and then we have some curl commands here. And so what you can do is you can just literally copy this, and then if you go back to NNN, and then you just import curl here, which I'm not going to do now, but this is essentially what I did to get to what I have here. So all of these will be automatically populated, and the only thing left that you have to do is to then select authentication, predefined. And the reason why you select predefined credential type is because Mistral already has, like if you look at this list, Mistral already has their API integrated into NNN, meaning that you do not need to kind of like go to the generic route and then select header and then like create from scratch. There's already a predefined one, so you can just literally go to Mistral, right? Mistral Cloud API, and then you can just copy your API over from Mistral into this. So let me just show you how to do it, right? So if we go to edit, and then you can literally just copy paste your API key, which you can get from Mistral's website. Let me just, yeah, so if you go to API keys here, and then you can literally just create your own API key, and then copy it, and then paste it over here, and then you're done. So that's the first step. And then for fetch signed URL, you can go to this same doc, and then you go down to get signed URL. Same thing, copy, and then paste into this second node, import curl. And then after that, you do the same for the third node as well. So you go down here to get OCR results, and then you would copy this, and then go back and paste it. And then this one, you will also need to set up the predefined credential type as well, which is your API. And then here, another thing that you have to do is to then get this URL and then make sure that you put it into this placeholder here, which I think initially they've written it as signed URL, but you essentially need to replace that with the URL that we have from this node. So once you're done with that, now you have this Mistral thing going on. And then here you do the same as well, because this node here is essentially getting, this and this node is essentially the same thing. It's just that now you're processing the little images within the PDF, whereas this node here is kind of like just analyzing the entire PDF as a whole. So you would go through, you can literally just copy paste this node and put it here. And then the rest of these you can kind of leave it the same. Yeah, and then here essentially what we're doing is, because now once you have done all of this, which is extracting the text from the little images, now you're combining the overall markdown with the extracted markdown from those small images and then combining them together. And so this is what these two nodes is doing. And then after that, we have this LLM call where you will need to set up your LLM model here. We are using ChatGPT 4.1 mini. And then if you can see this prompt, where you will need to kind of like connect this JSON markdown, which is from here, which is from the previous node. And then you can see that in this prompt, essentially what we're asking to do is replace all the noise. So whether it's lorem ipsum, whether it's broken text, whether it's like a lot of gibberish data dumps and stuff, or duplicates even, just remove all of those. And then what it gives is a very clean markdown of the original image, the PDF. And then finally we just upload it into Google Docs. Alright, so that's basically it, guys. So this will be a template within n8n, and you guys can freely download it if you like. And I'll also drop the link in the description below. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching if you're still here until now. And let me know like what kind of workflows that you would like me to build or you would like to see from this channel. Alright, thanks so much, guys. Have a good one. Peace.